Biden is just so bad. He is the worst president in the history of our country.
You should make a diss track on him.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Do you think that you're starting to soften your views on some of the networks that you may have not gotten along with in the past?
No, they're fake news.
You had a street fight this past week.
And how did it work out?
How you think, Mr. President?
I think you probably did pretty good. I've watched enough of you fighting.
Unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
It's very possible. Really powerful stuff. AI. They made a commercial of me promoting a product, and it wasn't me. And I said, did I make that commercial?
Rap beefs. Big rap beef just happened. Drake or Kendrick? I think so too, Mr. Trump.
This all my life.
On the one hand, I'm like thinking about the ethics of such a thing, you know, like promoting Donald Trump, which is like hilarious to say because he was the fucking president. He's like, why are you platforming Trump? It's like a funny thing to say. But also on the other hand, I'm like, it's such great content. And honestly, my content brain side gets way excited. Yeah, that was me on the trailer. I was there.
My whole life. Anyway, hi fellas, how you doing?
How are you, boss?
How's your brother? Good?
Yeah, he's excellent.
You have a good relationship with him, right?
With Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do now. But it's not always been like that.
It's always been, yeah, I can imagine.
But it's my
But
brother.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's
Taylor
good.
Tyson, we got.
Yeah, right?
Who you got?
When is that gonna be?
November. It got rescheduled.
Well, look, Mike was fantastic, but you know, Mike's a little older now.
Yeah.
And you guys can fight.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, but you guys can really fight, legitimately fight.
Thank you, sir.
At first I said, it's so amazing because I always thought like a UFC guy or a top, even contender would be able to win at 75 years old.
You think?
But it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
The clock is still the clock.
Yeah. I figured that out with Floyd as well.
Yeah, how about that, right?
I don't know.
I mean, it was even.
Yeah, which
You would
shouldn't
have
make.
thought he would have won that fight.
That's what I thought.
That was your baby.
Some
right?
people still think you did win
This
that
is for you
fight.
guys.
Oh, no way. We got gifts.
Sold for a lot of money this thing.
Oh, no way. Oh, thank you, President.
She split it up. Here's
Oh, amazing.
something for you. This is
Is this your mugshot?
yeah, can you believe it?
You're a gangster.
This is what we're reduced to. You know,
No way. No way.
Should we put him on now?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. Like, oh my God. I'm jealous, but also I'm excited because like I don't think I've ever been this close, like this immediately and directly close to Donald Trump. Like, think about it, chat. This man sitting in the corner, the host of the Impaulsive podcast, has sat here. You know what I mean? Like, this is literally the closest I have been to Donald Trump. That's mighty parasocial of you. Yeah, I am parasocial for Trump.
That's amazing.
Why didn't you ask him to mention you? Dude, if I knew, I would have helped them produce this. 100%. I would have given him some fucking solid questions. Like, not like obviously contentious ones, but like questions that would trip him up at least a little bit, but massaged in a way where it's like a good enough question that he will answer it.
Tells. Well, Elvis had one. Frank Sinatra had one.
This shirt?
But we've eclipsed them. A long time ago, we've eclipsed them.
This is crazy.
It's pretty cool. Isn't it cool?
I have to be honest, I'm jealous.
It's actually, I'm not sure if I love it or not, but
No, it's
it
good.
is what it is.
It happened, and might as well monetize it.
Well, Mr. President, people surely love it. They love the picture. They rallied behind it. They're rallying behind you now.
Well, they
More
are.
than ever.
And we had the biggest fundraising, I think, ever for any candidate ever anywhere in the world in the last 8 or 9 days. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And too bad it couldn't have been done for other reasons, but they viewed the cases being so corrupt and so ridiculous. Every one of the legal pundits, and they're great guys. When you look at Dershowitz, the whole group, that whole group of people.
Bringing up Alan Dershowitz to Logan Paul and Mike Majlak is crazy. They have no fucking idea what you're talking about. And if they did, they would probably not even be that fond of Alan Dershowitz, also known to the average human being as Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile lawyer. It's like, yeah, Mark Levin, good guy. It's like, dude, these guys don't fucking know Mark Levin. What are you saying?
Andy McCarthy, Jonathan Turley, Greg Jarrett, every one of them, they came out.
That's
and
so
they
funny. Bringing up Jonathan Turley to Logan Paul. Great guy, Jonathan Turley. I call him Jonathan Turdley. There's something very funny about this.
There's not even a case here. There's no case. And when they saw the jury instructions, when they saw all the things that happened, and it's not like anybody's a friend of mine. Mark Levin is an example. They couldn't believe it. So unfair. You know, it's a very unfair thing. And because of that, the fundraising numbers and the polls, but the fundraising, that's sort of like a poll anyway, right? When you get right down to it. But the fundraising numbers went, I don't think there's.
Wait, bro, if fundraising numbers are like a poll, Biden is winning by Reagan percentages.
There's ever been that much money raised that quickly.
You've become a martyr of
Hundreds
sorts.
of millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's insane. $140 million in May that you raised.
35 million in just hours after the verdict.
You've become a martyr of sorts.
Yeah, 58 million within a few hours. And that was in small donations, like $71, something average. And over a period of a week, we even went to San Francisco. Now, not supposed to be, that's the belly of the beast, right?
Rare
Supposedly.
visit.
But they had thousands of people on the street. It was so positive, and they raised $12 million. The tech guys at one of the houses, David, fantastic people, and they were like, they gave me a lot of money. They've never been into doing that. And I think it helps that Biden is just so bad. He is so bad. He is the worst president in the history of our country. So that helps too.
You should make a diss track on him.
Yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something.
I actually wanted to start there.
Go ahead.
Because one thing that I just can't seem to wrap my head around it is, you know, you got these felony convictions and a lot of them, like more than Al Capone, right? And there was an uprising and people showed you their support with their donations. And a lot of people are saying it points out that actually the unjust nature of
Bro, I love how woefully unprepared Logan Paul is to have this conversation. He's just like saying words, okay? My man has been given a script, okay? This is awesome. He's like, yeah, an uprising is happening. It's just like Al Capone. It's like, what are you saying, big dog? Oh, it's so good. Please, Michael, bring it in. Bring it in.
of America's justice system. So
Very unjust.
my question is, like, if that is your belief, if that is their belief, why do you have the desire to give your time and energy to a country or a system that's trying to take you down?
So
Someone in the chat said this is just like those Modi interviews. It's so real. It's like, Mr. President, what's your favorite color? Mr. President, how do you eat a mango? Mr. President, sir, why do you devote so much of your time and energy to this beautiful country that you love, even when this beautiful country that you love has done so many wrong things to you?
I ran twice. I did much better the second time than the first time. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have done this. But we had it going like this country has never been going before. It was really good. Now it's really bad. The worst border in history, the worst inflation, I think, in history. I think the history of the country, the people are getting decimated by it. All very all something you can fix. You can fix it fast. We were energy independent. We're going to be energy dominant very soon. All these things were happening. And then we had a terrible result in an election. And what happened was disgraceful, and we can't ever let it happen again. But
I can't understand how we live on this planet. Like, I'm alive at a time when the fucking former president who's running for re-election is going on the podcast of a dude I know very well. What the fuck how are we alive right now? I mean, I guess. Oh my God, look at the painting above Mike. Oh my God. Okay, I guess if we're keeping it $150, he did go on Alex Jones last time he ran.
But we have a little expression. It's right on that hat. Make America great again. And we can do that. Make America great again. And this guy is not going to do it. This guy has destroyed our country. When you allow 15, 16, 17, they have no idea what the gotaways. Million people coming out of jails, coming out of mental institutions, insane asylum. the insane asylums all over the world, the mental institutions, they're at the lowest levels. They've been at it for years. They're going to be totally empty. And you have terrorists coming into our country. We're going to be paying a big price, and we're going to solve the problem, and we're going to solve it relatively quickly. But we have other problems, too, with energy, with inflation. He's been a disaster as a president. He's the worst president.
I love the impulsive zoom cuts on Donald Trump doing his tight five. Yeah, energy crisis, inflation, it's all happening. Meanwhile, it's like, zoom cut, zoom cut, zoom cut, zoom cut.
President we've ever had. The good news is he makes Jimmy Carter look brilliant by comparison. So Jimmy Carter
Why are you laughing at that, Logan? Do you get that reference?
is the only one that's happy with this.
Logan, you get that reference, big dog? What are you laughing at? Dude, bringing up Mark Levin to Logan Paul and Mike Majlak is ridiculous. I will never let go of this, okay? Logan, jealousy doesn't suit you? Okay, shut the fuck up. I am jealous. I'm jealous as fuck.
Well, look, I think that's why a lot of people are so obsessed with you, Mr. Trump, Mr. President Trump. Well, because you're already a billionaire, right? You are essentially serving these people, and you don't have to be doing it. The president.
No.
What? What does that mean? What is how does a billionaire serve people? Come on, bro. What is happening? Where is the Logan Paul of Black Lives Matter? I want that Logan Paul to come back. Okay? I want the Logan Paul that was like, yeah, that's right. You know, systemic racism is real. We need to put an end to that shit.
Being the president seems like a very hard job. You were at 3 meetings just before this.
Sure.
But
Okay, he's not president right now. And that's number one. And number two, like, I don't even, okay. If you read enough, and back when I used to read books all the time about how Donald Trump became president, because it was a fascinating story. And I don't think he thought he was going to be president, big dog. I don't think so. He just kind of got in there and was like, oh shit. He didn't think he was going to be president. Also, he's not a billionaire, I don't think. I don't think he's a billionaire at all, actually. Like, this was a shocking turn of events for Donald Trump. I think it was The Devil's Bargain, Joshua Green's book. It's like literally one of the last books I can remember reading, where they talk about like how he's just kind of sitting there and no one thinks he's going to win, including himself. Or was it Fire and Fury, maybe? The Devil's Bargain is the book about Steve Bannon. It's a really good book. I really like that. It's one of the last books I read, which is crazy. Holy shit. Yeah, I think that is literally one of the last books I fucking read before I became a Twitch streamer. And then since then, I have not read a single goddamn book, I don't think. I tried reading Dune. I stopped. After that, I decided books are gay. Yeah, well, shut up, bitch. I read enough books. And I still read. I just fucking read chat, you know?
an attempt to improve your country for these things you're saying.
Yeah.
It comes from what? Just the love of the
Well,
country?
the people, I'll tell you, when you look at the people, when you look at the crowds, I did a rally in New Jersey. We had 107,000 people there. You saw that last week. We did one in the Bronx. We had 25,000 people. And this was in the South Bronx, which is known as a rough area. And it was like a love fest. There was not even like, nobody even raised a voice of dissent. The whole place, it was like a big love fest. Nobody could believe it. You saw that 3-4 weeks ago. There's tremendous, our country has tremendous potential, but it's going down the tubes very, very rapidly. Nobody has ever seen anything like it, the way it's being run. So bad. And we can change it. We can change it quickly. We have a debate coming up. That'll be interesting.
June
That'll be-
27th,
yeah.
hosted by one of your favorite television networks, CNN.
Well, they gave me the option. They said, would you do it? And they didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. So they gave me everything. Fake Tapper and lots of other people that were going to, were involved on CNN.
I mean, look, Trump is a serial yapper and he lies about everything and he does it in a very convincing way. because he's like very confident. And I'm thinking like, how would I react in this situation? And like, yeah, I'm fucking armchair quarterback in here and being like, oh, I would like address some of the lies that he's saying, but like I probably wouldn't. Like I wouldn't be able to if he's just like fucking sequentially deploying lies over and over again. And I would definitely drop some of the sillier things that he's talking about with like how big the crowd is in the Bronx.
They wanted it to be seated, which I didn't like. I said we should stand, and I think we won that point. But I would have agreed to whatever I had to agree to because they didn't want to do it. They thought that I wouldn't do it because it's CNN, but I've done plenty of CNN. I did a town hall not so long ago with CNN that worked out well. But I think they'll be fair. I think they're going to try and be fair. I mean, as fair as they can be. But I think it's important for there to be a debate. So they said, "You want to debate?" "Yep, I'll accept. You don't even have to tell me." Then they said CNN. They said the different people that are involved. But let's see what happens. I used to get along with Jake Tapper. We'll see what happens. But it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it is.
That sentiment that CNN might be fair to you
They might be.
is a bit of a departure
I'd
from
say
your
a good
normal
10% chance.
from your normal hardline stance. Do you think that you're starting to come around or soften your views on some of the networks that you may have not gotten along with in the past?
No, they're fake news.
Yeah, fake news.
No, they're so bad. One of the good terms, right? Fake news. But no,
Dude, this is why he's so good at like, or was so good originally. Like, look, Logan's ears perked up when he said fake news because from Logan's framework, he is basically like Barney. You know what I mean? It's like talking to Mickey Mouse. And you know, this is a catchphrase, right? Like he's basically repeating his catchphrase. So people are going, "Oh my God, you're repeating your catchphrase that you're famous for." And a lot of us like to assume that we don't view politics as team sport. We understand how serious this kind of stuff is, but like, no, the overwhelming majority of Americans, due to the duopoly stranglehold and the one party in practice, duopoly in theory system that we have, feel exactly the same way that these guys do, where it's just like, it doesn't really matter. This is a character. You know what I mean? That's it. Most Americans that feel like they're above, like Logan's analysis of Donald Trump, like a famous copyrighted character saying a catchphrase, unironically also do the exact same thing.
no, I don't think so. I thought maybe, I had one with
Like every single liberal in the chat that has been like, you don't understand, voting for Biden is going to save America, as opposed to Donald Trump, who's going to ruin America. Like you are doing the same thing that Logan's doing, but just like in the opposite direction. And at least Logan Paul understands that he's not the brightest light bulb in the room when it comes down to fucking, politics.
Caitlin Collins about 4 or 5 months ago.
Just
It was one of
gayer,
the highest rated
exactly.
shows they've ever had. And I really thought they were going to go maybe sort of in the middle, but I was wrong about, as I'm getting on and I'm hearing the way I'm being announced, they said, hey, these people are playing hardball. They're making a big mistake, but the ratings for this debate, I guess, will be quite good.
Massive. Are you surprised by his decision to face-to-face with you?
You mean the fact that they're willing to do it?
That Biden's willing
A little
to do
bit.
it?
They didn't want to do it. They thought I turned CNN down. Look, CNN is the enemy. And they thought I was going to turn CNN, and Tapper is, one of the guys that, when I'm making a speech, so they're waiting for the nomination for months and months. I got it in the quickest fashion. Nobody's ever gotten a nomination so quickly. And I'm making my nomination speech, and they refuse to put it. They're covering it for months and months. Now I'm actually making my speech. I mean, this is the big night. I won the nomination, and they refuse to put it on. These are people that don't like Trump. But it's okay.
Remember when Jake Tapper called you a misogynist? You know what's really funny about this? I don't even remember tweeting this out. But like the very same people that back in the day were celebrating this, I'm willing to bet, would now, if I were to tweet this, would try to get me banned. You know what I mean? Like all the people that used to be like little libs in this audience, in this community, would 100%. They're the same ones who were like, I can't believe Hasan said that to Tom Cotton.
Okay, because I think it's important to have a debate, or a number of debates, actually.
So vocal as well, especially on social media, I think works in your favor. And personally, I like that you come with receipts sometimes.
Yeah,
I've seen you pull them out of your,
No, I
your
understand.
jacket. Will you have receipts?
I like to do it.
Well, fact checking's fun.
Yeah, I know. We'll check. We're gonna check a lot of things. It's gonna be an interesting. You will be watching, right?
I'll be watching.
We just don't want to schedule it around one of your fights.
Please
because
don't. Please
you
don't.
do pretty well.
Thanks. I'll be watching. Yeah, I always see you at
So
UFC.
do you have? By the way, do you ever fight your brother?
That's the question.
you want to know something?
I want to know.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
because
right.
you are both good. Do you ever fight him?
Thank you. I not in real life.
You
no.
practiced a little bit
Never.
with him, right?
We've never even sparred.
Really?
We don't know. I think
Well, did you beat him up your whole life?
I
growing
didn't.
up?
I punched him in the face once because he took my glasses. But I was willing to step in for Mike Tyson when Tyson got sick and had to postpone his fight. And we actually like ran it up the chain at Netflix.
It's hard for brothers to fight, though. I think it's hard.
Not on
I've
Netflix
seen it over
for a
the years,
big
you know.
old bag. Like
Yeah, but
figure
there
it
have
out
been
once and
some,
for
though.
all.
I think it's. You don't think so? You love your brother.
Well, me and Jake decided that obviously, like, we both come from a place of love, and whatever the outcome would be, we'd have to be okay with it. But obviously, I love
No,
my
but
brother.
the shots to the face and you know,
just one time though, for the rest of history. You know, that night goes down forever. The Klitschko brothers never did it.
no, they never did it, and they were both good, and they
Yeah.
never did it. They were very good, but in fact, nobody really figured out maybe who was better. They had some good fights. They were tough, right?
Yeah.
They
Well,
were tough.
Jake's tough and he's good, but I'm
He's-
1-0.
he's very good, and you're very good.
Thanks.
He had a street fight this past week against somebody from a squad you may know as the
tell me.
from the Nelk Boys.
Oh, right. When you
one-
said you had it out with them?
An actual street fight.
No,
A
no,
fit-
but a friendly one or an unfriendly one?
oh, it was pretty unfriendly.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was not
there.
friendly. I would call it a waiver fight. I had
They
to
have
decide
a great following, though. They're nice guys.
We love them.
They have such a.
I think Trump is actually pretty talented talking about shit he's never heard of. Yeah, but this is stuff that he does know about. I think you forget, like, he likes UFC. He likes fighting. He likes boxing. Like, this is a real thing that he's interested in. He likes WWE. So for him, this is in the pocket.
You do. Good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad because
Yeah.
I'm getting myself into a position here. They really are. They did. Dana White, who's fantastic.
for sure.
He said, "Would you do the Nelk Boys?" I didn't know who they were. I did it, and they have a tremendous audience, which you can
Ferocious.
tell right away. I did Dr. Phil the other day.
I saw it.
Yeah, he
Amazing.
was great.
We
No,
we
he
love
was
the Nelk Boys, by the way. The Nelk Boy we're talking about is like it's kind of like
His
an
name's
ant.
His name's Bradley Martin. He's a big fitness
Right.
guy because we know Kyle Forgard, Kyle, and John Shahidi for
Right?
years
That's-
now.
They're
But
great.
Bradley's this big 260-pound, bodybuilder, and for years he's called people out. I'm 260. I'm 260. I'll fight you, and got into it with Logan.
And how did it work out?
How you think, Mr. President?
I think he probably did pretty good. I've watched enough of you fighting.
It was off camera. It was cool. It was like a duel, like a good old fashioned, just boys being boys, no cameras.
It was a real deal.
The real deal.
And
No rules.
was he finished?
He quit.
He was. He did.
He quit. Yeah.
But we were very impressed with him. Actually,
He showed up.
He has no combat sports experience.
Yep.
Stepped up
So
to
he just
somebody.
had he had muscle, but not
I'm getting so close to Donald Trump. It's kind of crazy.
the.
Yeah. Yep.
Just no training.
Yeah.
Just no training.
You ever been in a fist fight, Mr.
You are visibly squirming because they talking about Bradley Martin and not you, Lamau. No, why would the fuck would they bring me up? I have no relationship with Logan Paul. I've only been critical of Logan Paul. I love Mike. You guys know this. I will ride. I ride for Mike. I defend Mike all the time, vociferously. Okay. I have no expectations they're gonna ever bring me up to Donald Trump. Why would they do that?
Mr. President?
Probably not. I've been.
I've
like,
never even
little-
actually personally talked to Logan Paul ever.
There's nothing like.
I don't think I've ever been around Logan Paul now that I think about it, which is kind of crazy.
I mean, I'd like to say, yeah, I fought my way through school.
Right.
I fought my way out of the Wharton School of Finance. we didn't
Hey,
have a lot
Big
of
Mike.
fighters.
Yeah.
Thank you for the 25 gifted, bro. This man goes in does one interview and is balling in the chat. Do you see this? Do you see this? That's crazy. That's crazy. He's flexing, dude. He's like, yeah, what's up? 25 gifted. It's nothing to me, dude. I interviewed the president. Oh my God. I can't believe it, dude. What does the world come to? It's pretty cool. You should have brought me up. You should have brought me up, Mike. Should have fucking brought me up to the president. Should have been like, I have a friend. His name is Hasanabi Piker. He's not too fond of you, sir. What do you have to say to him? But I have another friend. His name is Hank Pecker, and he loves you.
We have fighters, but not that kind of fighters. But I've had a lot of fun. I'll tell you, we had a great time. Over the years, I've been very much involved with Mike Tyson. Mike is a great guy. My son, I have a beautiful boy, Baron, and he loves Mike Tyson.
Big boy. Big boy.
He's huge.
He's a big boy, 6'9".
6'9".
6'9".
My
yeah.
PDF's at 6'7".
And I couldn't get him to play basketball. He plays.
Bro, he's 6'9". He needs to play basketball. You need to force your son to play basketball. That's a waste of Slovenian genes, okay? The fuck are we doing? He's bulking. He's 6'9". Get his ass on the court right now, bro. It's about to be the next Osama bin Laden. A waste of height, okay? His tall ass should have been balling too.
Soccer. He's a good athlete too. Good student.
Big
good
boy
athlete.
for soccer.
But he's 6'9".
It's insane.
Good looking guy, but he is a tall one. There's no question. I say, Baron, I don't want to take a picture next to you. It's
Slovakian.
we ought to make him a fighter, maybe.
No, I don't. We always see you at the UFC fights.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a fight fan.
I like it. I really enjoyed it. I think Dana White is one of a kind. He's
sure.
And he's been generous to me. He's made a great statement about me the other day.
I saw that.
That was a nice statement.
Well, because
but
you've
I
had
said-
his back for.
Well,
since,
I did, and rightfully. I think, the expression "everybody's
How would you
replaceable."
skip our ad? Come on, bro. You guys have enough money. You motherfuckers are posting. Motherfuckers are posting up. How could you skip our ad? Unreal. Bro, you're literally posting prime fucking bottles on this interview, okay? You made enough money. You made enough money. This interview is going to go nutty mode with the ad rev too. I showed the link. It's ethical. It's Ethical Reacts.
I'm not sure anybody could do the job he does is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He gets. I met Khabib, who's
I saw that.
29-0, and his father died, and he just said, "That's it for me." And his father was great at what he did, and probably he never lost even a round. I think 29-0. They say he never lost a round, and I thought he was great. And
Khabib for sure hates this motherfucker. No, he doesn't. Are you kidding me? Khabib literally walked up to him, shook his hand, and was like, "Mr. President, can you please?" The thing that I love about the fucking Dagestani fighters is they all speak English. Like it's like they love chirping. I think they recognize early on that like you got to be able to speak English so you can like talk shit. Yeah, Khabib walked up to him and was like, "Sir, please, Palestine, save them." And Trump, of course, was like, "Yeah, I'm going to deal with it. Dagestani knows Russian. Of course they speak Russian. What are you talking about? Khabib's English is honestly pretty solid. Yeah, no, all the Dagestani fighters, all they do is train and speak English, bro, so they could talk shit better. Khabib's father convinced them to focus on English. It's smart. It's very, very, very smart to be able to speak English.
we got to speak. He was just about my favorite guy, and really talented. The Strickland was fantastic the other night. I thought he was
Great striker.
He was.
Everyone wants to come out of the cage and meet you after they
They
win.
do.
And
Yeah,
when-
they
and when
do.
you-
I'm very honored by it. Every time they win.
You sound like Pakistani parents right now. I mean, it's true though. It's if you want to make it in American media, you have to be able to speak English. Like you become an infinitely more marketable figure when you can talk shit in English. Okay? The moment that it's not a subtitle that's saying what you're saying, but instead is directly coming out of your mouth, you've become an incredibly marketable entity. And the Dagestani fighters, I think, definitely understand that.
They jump out.
Yeah.
They jump out of that cage.
Yeah, Islam Makhachev said this.
Doesn't speak
Money's
English
important,
because-
Islam.
Look,
but
Money's
this guy
important, Islam.
Doesn't speak
Money's
English
important,
because
Islam.
nobody understands this guy. He doesn't speak English. English is important if you want to make money. You have to speak some language which everybody understand.
So, I gonna smash your boy. Go to sleep. It's sleep time. Go to sleep. No, no tap out. You don't tap out. Go to sleep. These people, they come here to see you. These people, they come here to see you. You talk shit. Go to sleep.
Like it's nothing. I don't know. It's pretty high, but they have no problem.
And when you enter the arena, there's an eruption of cheers.
Yeah.
But I remember, because I've been going to UFC for a while, like it wasn't always like that. There was a very clear like shift in the perception of you. Do you feel like you feel that now?
Yeah, it's like, talk now. Let's talk now. There's another one. Dude, think about how iconic that shit is, though. Now we talk. Talking now. Now we talking. Now we talk. Think about that, dude. That's insane. Yeah, send me location.
More than ever.
I don't know. You know, I've done it in Vegas, Miami. I do it with them with Dana. Dana wants me to do that, and I do it. And it is an eruption.
Hello?
He said like he's never heard before. They actually stopped a fight. One of the fighters were walking out, and there's a fight going on, and these guys are really going at it, and they heard this crazy sound, and they stopped the fight. They both stopped fighting. They're looking over what happened. They probably thought bad things were happening to the arena. But no, it's been great, and he is just somebody you have to really respect. I imagine you guys do, but he gets these fighters from all over the world, and they are some really talented people, and I have respect for fighters. When you can take 200 shots to the face and then look forward to the second round. Yes. It's interesting.
Biden could never do this interview. Holy fuck, he really is gonna win. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not so certain of Donald Trump winning the election. I do think that he has a pretty solid chance, and I think that that should never be the case. But unfortunately, the Democratic Party has gone with Biden, who is an old man. But you are right. I don't think that Joe Brandon could do an uninterrupted hour-long interview. Biden has a 20% disapproval margin, bro. Good luck with that. Yeah, except you do realize that the Democratic Party across the board is nowhere near as unpopular as Joseph Robinette Biden is. That's the issue. Joe Biden is unpopular. Joe Biden is old. He's seen as weak and feeble because he is. It's nap time for him all the time. But the Democratic Party is actually doing fairly well in a lot of the same Senate seats on the same fucking ballots that Joe Biden is supposed to be at the top of the ticket on. Like, the Democratic Party isn't doing poorly. Biden is. And under normal circumstances, it's never down ballot that carries the top of the ticket. It's vice versa. You have a very popular leader that a lot of people rally around, and then they go, I'm here. Might as well vote down ballot for the Democrats as well. In this situation, it's the exact opposite. Republicans flopped in the midterms. It's not even just that. Like, the Republican Party is broadly seen as like undemocratic, anti-democratic, corrupt, chaotic, and also greatly invested in the removal of civil liberties from women. Okay, not just like gay people, not just queer people, not trans people. I'm talking women. That's 50% of the population. There's a lot of Republican women, white women that vote. So when they see that shit, they're like, you know what? This kind of sucks. I actually don't want to vote for these guys. Abortion is massive. It's a massively consequential thing that the Republican Party brought about itself. They are, in many respects, suffering from their own success.
A lot of wrestlers they want to do the UFC thing, but they can't take the shots because they're wrestlers. I've been with a lot of them, and because at the White House we honor the national champion wrestlers and tennis players and sort of everything. We have these, but speaking to the wrestlers, some of them, there's somebody named Bo Nickel who I think is going to be great. He's a fighter.
Fantastic.
He was a All-American, I think probably 4 years. I'm not even sure. He went to Penn State, and he's phenomenal as a fighter, and you'll be watching him. But he doesn't mind. If he gets hit, he doesn't mind. Some people don't want that.
Speaking of conflict and fighting, since you left office, the number of global conflicts has skyrocketed. And I know
it's
Khabib
terrible.
talked to you about it quickly when you spoke with him. I think 2 weeks ago about President Biden authorized the use of American weapons in Russia, which has now led to a fleet of Russian warships coming towards Cuba this week. What are your thoughts and concerns around our current handling of our relationship with Russia?
Well, the Russian attack on Ukraine would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. It's just a shame. So many dead people. You look at just the soldiers, it's 500,000 soldiers between the both countries. But so many dead people, so many towns and villages and buildings and magnificent culture just being wiped out. You okay over there?
Stuff's falling
Yes,
over.
sounds good. Nice book, by the way. Nice book.
We'll get to that.
That's his book
mine.
about overcoming
Let's
drug
promote it.
addiction.
It's a bestseller about the opiate epidemic, which we'll
That's
talk
good.
about.
Wow,
after.
that's a great topic because it's so sad to see what's happening.
Wow. That's right. Nice book. I'm going to kill all drug dealers. Wow. I love when he says Russia never would have invaded Ukraine if I was the president. It's just like literally all of these things that have happened under the Brandon regime. He could just sit back and be like, yep, if I was president, none of that would have happened. Only good things, none of the bad. Believe me.
So bad. But it's a shame because it never would have happened. And it didn't happen during my 4 years. It didn't happen. It wouldn't have happened. I got along very well with Putin. I got along with Zelensky. But it wouldn't have happened. And October 7th would have never happened. And
Yeah, like, see, this is the part where I would be like, if I was in the room in a situation like this is the part where I'd be like, how can you say that? Honestly. You ripped apart the Iran denuclearization agreement, which literally created more regional stability, okay? You added additional sanctions to Iran, even though European investigators were still openly reporting that Iran was following through on the nuclear denuclearization agreement, even after you ripped the deal apart, famously. You also you moved the embassy to Jerusalem, which was insane. Okay. That was an insane move. You moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, making it permanent that like Israel now controls Jerusalem, including occupied East Jerusalem. You then recognized annexed territory Golan Heights, which is Syrian land that Israel illegally occupies. Again, you recognize that as like permanent Israeli land. You did the Abraham Accords, which directly wrote out the Palestinians from the equation of Palestinian sovereignty, which greatly increased tensions and was the direct consequence of which was October 7. Beyond that, you also assassinated the second in command, Qasem Soleimani, in Iran. Like, you are a big part of why October 7 happened, if not the biggest part outside of Israel. This is the type of shit that obviously Trump is never going to be questioned on, because I don't think it's not even like Mike that's going to ask him these questions. But it's also not even like mainstream media that would ever ask him these questions, because the reverse of this for mainstream media, the reversal is an easy fucking dunk as well. Trump could go, if it was so bad, why didn't Brandon change it? You know what I mean? Because Joe Biden has continued on the Abraham Accords. Joe Biden never reversed the embassy move decision. Joe Biden never fucking took back any of the things that Donald Trump did on Israel. So there is a unified bipartisan agreement when it comes to American foreign policy. Okay? That's just the truth. That's why someone like Donald Trump, when he was running in 2016, could very easily turn around and say, Obama put the kids in concentration camps too. Why are you getting mad at me when I do it? You know? Which is so funny to be like, oh yeah, we hate that you're putting children in detention facilities. And he would always just say, who built the detention facilities? That's what he said over and over again. Who built the facilities? Obama did. That is part of the reason why I'm very, very frustrated with the Democratic Party all the time.
inflation would have never happened, and the withdrawal, the kind of withdrawal, we were getting out of Afghanistan with dignity and strength, but to get out the way, I think it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And I actually think that the way Afghanistan
Did you see this Doyen Talker made a video on you? Wait, what? Really?
worked, I think that when Putin looked at that, he said, wow, let's go in. And you know who else looked at it? President Xi of China. And he is looking at Taiwan and he's drooling. He's drooling over Taiwan. And so something could happen there. We've lost a lot of respect. They're laughing at us all over the world. And that wasn't happening 4 years ago.
And with you back in office, you think we'll get that respect back?
Yeah, we'll get it back.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. If there's one thing that was universally acknowledged, it was that America did become more of a laughing stock by our allies, especially during his fucking administration. Literally, everyone laughed at his face. Everyone laughed behind his back. The entire world was like, look at this fucking dumbass. Now, the saddest part about it is that they're still laughing because now we substituted one fucking jackass for a drooling, demented idiot who can't probably keep his bowel movements restricted for a long enough timeline because he's just too old. So now they're still laughing. Now, of course, they won't be laughing for too long because like our kind of brain rot has already completely captivated Europe as it once did less than 100 years ago. It's already happening. But having said that, Donald Trump saying like, no, I'm going to restore the fear and the respect that America had around the globe. That's just like dumb guy shit. He says that, and it's no different than him being like, I'm a businessman and I think someone needs to run this country like a business. That's like classic dumb guy shit. Okay? Dumb people love that shit. They loved going, oh yeah, we got to vote for a businessman to fix the economy. We have to run this country like a business. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? You literally work at Walmart, man. You're getting fucked over every goddamn day. Fuck you mean we got to run the country like a business? What are you talking about, bro? Like, which business? Trump's businesses? He had 7 bankruptcies. The fuck are we talking about? It's like, you ain't even a business person. Like, why are you saying we got to run the country like a business? So that's one of the classic like dumb guy arguments. And the other classic dumb guy argument is like, oh, I'm going to restore respect to America. It's like, yeah, sure, dude.
What's your relationship like with Vladimir Putin?
I think very good, but I was tough with him. I ended the pipeline. He built, it's called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2 until I got involved. And it was the biggest project ever done in Russia. I mean, this was a...
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Logan Paul knows what Nord Stream 2 is. Okay. Like, no disrespect, but like he's checked out. Okay. He's like, what? Okay. Nord Stream 2. Okay. Got it.
Pipeline that was going to supply oil and gas to all over Europe, Germany in particular. And I said, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to Germany? I said, we're defending you under NATO and you're paying billions of dollars a month to Russia. You mean we're defending you and you're giving the people we're defending you from, we're giving you the defense, but you're giving them money?
Even on the Nord Stream front, it's like, well, Brandon blew it up. You know what I'm saying? Trump wasn't with it. Brandon blew that shit up. Now, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. One thing I will mention as far as like Trump constantly talk about NATO, the major difference between Donald Trump and Joe Brandon is that Trump keeps saying, I'm going to not disband NATO, mind you. He's not saying that at all. He's going to demand more money from NATO members, right? He keeps asking like, I need more money. I need more money from all the NATO nations. He has even gone as far as to say at a rally, I believe, that if Russia invaded a country and that country had not paid money into NATO, like had paid more for their defenses, that he would not defend that country, which of course makes everyone in the blob in the NatSec side of DC go crazy. They hear that and they go, oh my God, he's going to destroy NATO. Now, this is born out of two different reasons. One, because Trump doesn't really fully understand that like NATO is really good for the American military industrial complex. They get to buy our weapons, you know what I mean? Like it's a way to reassert American dominance around the globe. They have American bases, they put American soldiers there. We get to create this endless cycle of security. It's a protection racket for the United States of America. So that's not how the dynamic with NATO normally works, right? We benefit from NATO way more than those guys benefit from NATO. The American military industrial complex benefits from NATO's existence. However, one can also make the argument that like Donald Trump is, you know, doing a little bit more extortion on the protection racket in a way that where the mob guy does it. You know what I mean? Maybe the mob guy comes in, says, hey, your glasses are broken. Would be a shame if it got broke again. Maybe you need to pay us so we protect you. Okay? And then next time around, he still comes back and he's like, you know what? I think we need more money to protect your storefront, actually. So I think that's what Trump is doing a little bit. Inflation. Inflation has come to the American protection racket.
At massive amounts. Probably the biggest project, you know, most important, one of the most important projects they've ever done. I ended it. It was dead. It was gone. And then this guy comes in and he approves it, but he kills Keystone. You know, the Keystone XL.
Yep.
So it's sad. But Putin said to me, it's the biggest thing. You ended it. You ended the pipeline. He said, they all say you and I are friendly, but I'd hate to see you as an enemy. But this was the biggest, you know, this was massive amounts of money and everything.
But that's how
else.
you
But
talk to him
Biden
like
came
that?
in, huh?
You talk to him like that?
Oh, no, I had a very good relationship. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. And I'm trying to tell people, no, it's a good thing. They've got, I would give you the exact number, but they gave a lot, just under 2,000 nuclear weapons. And we do also. And when you have nuclear weapons, and even if you don't have nuclear weapons, getting along is good, but be the tough one, be the smart one, get along is good. I tell the press all the time, no, the fact that I get along with Kim Jong-un, North Korea,
That's crazy.
President Xi,
That's crazy.
it's all good stuff getting along, but nobody ever took money out of China like me. I took hundreds of billions of dollars out in the form of tariffs and taxes. No other president took not 10 cents. And, you know, China built their military because of the United States. The United States was giving them hundreds of billions of dollars a year in excess flow. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. But we took out hundreds of billions of dollars from China, and I still got along with President Xi until COVID. That was a breaking point. But no, but he was a guy that I respected. He liked me, and I liked him. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. You know, the press says, "Oh, isn't it?"
I think a lot of these global leaders know like how to manipulate Trump, by the way, like where they just basically glad handle. They just tell him like he's a big boy. He's very strong. And then he like takes that at face value and goes like, yeah, that's right. They love me. They respect me. They're afraid of me. You know what I mean? Because like, think about it this way. Donald Trump's a fucking dumbass in comparison to like people like Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Like these guys are elderly statesmen at this point. They have been leading these massive countries for multiple decades in comparison to Donald Trump, who's like a television guy who doesn't really like to read and is now lucked into a phenomenal position of power, you know? So for them, like, they probably thought, this is great. We can do whatever the fuck we want. This guy will just shut the fuck up. As long as we glaze him a little bit, he'll be like, these guys love me. And as far as Xi Jinping goes, yeah, sure, he hasn't led China for decades. Okay, but he's been in politics for a lot longer than Donald Trump has. And will lead China for decades into the glorious future, the glorious Chinese hegemonic future. Leader Xi, please alert the authorities. I'm ready. Activate me like the Manchurian candidate, sir.
You say, yeah, he's a leader. He's a smart guy. They say, smart man. They say, oh, Trump said he was smart. Yeah, he leads 1.4 billion people. It's a little bit on the smart side. But I got along with him. I got along with Kim Jong-un. That would have been a nuclear.
President Xi, dear leader Xi, please tell me, give me a sign that you're in here watching. Like, for example, at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break, if you give gifted subs, not directly, but by one of your subsidiaries, I will know that you're in here, and I will know that you are on my side. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime.
Nuclear war. If Hillary Clinton had gotten in office, we would have been in a nuclear war with North Korea. He was ready for it. When I was with him, nobody else could meet him. All of a sudden, the dam broke, and we started talking a little bit. We got together, as you know, twice. Got along very well, but we were in no danger from them, and we were in serious danger before I got there. I'm telling you, you would have had a nuclear war if Hillary Clinton got in.
I'm so curious, like what this conversation with really powerful world leaders looks like behind closed doors. Like, is it candid, or do you exercise grace, or you talk like boys?
Everyone's different. No, but everyone's different. It's like when you're talking to people, when you're doing interviews with people, when you're fighting people, they're all different. You know, you fight them a different way, you talk to them a different way, but everyone's different. But I had very good relationships with everyone. The funny thing is I got along with the tough ones much better than I got along with the weak ones. You had some real weak ones too. I didn't get along with them as well. It's strange. Must be a
probably-
The
personality.
European
probably a good
leaders,
thing.
they were weak.
It's probably a good thing that you get along with
I get along with the tough
leaders of the
ones.
largest countries.
You know, there's a very tough one, Viktor Orban, and he's the prime minister of Hungary.
That's such a funny thing to say. Viktor Orban is a very tough leader. It's like, bro says he gets along with the tough leaders and not with the weak leaders, and then talks about Hungary. Like, yeah, dude, Viktor Orban, a real Hungary, the real tough nation of Hungary, led by the real tough man, Viktor Orban, dude. Come on. Like, that's insane. Like, when you say that about like, I don't know, Vladimir Putin, that's fine. He is a strong man, right? When you say that about Erdogan, that's fine. He's a strong man, second largest army in NATO. Like, say that about Xi Jinping, understandable, right? But like Viktor Orban is suckling on 3 different titties. 1, Vladimir Putin's titty. 2, EU's titty. And 3rd, and most importantly, the Chinese titty. What are we talking about here? Like, he's Viktor Orban, very, very scary, very tough guy. What? Turkish gambling ring serves their country men liquid glurp in meal. Glurp awareness ring? What the fuck? Why are you guys sending me this shit?
And he said that the reason the world is blowing up because Trump isn't president. When Trump was there, everybody respected Trump. He said was afraid of Trump. I don't want to use that term because that's, you know, I don't want to say, oh, they were afraid, like a child would say. But they respected me. But he said everyone listened to Trump. They were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out, and they all listened. And they did listen. And we had no wars. We had no nothing. I defeated ISIS, got rid of the biggest terrorists ever, maybe, or just about ever.
I don't know, man. Israel's still standing, bitch.
But we defeated, think of that, we knocked out ISIS, 100% of the ISIS caliphate, and started no wars. I wasn't in any wars. Now, that I don't know how you may feel about that.
How dare you? How dare you call them the fucking caliphate? That title belongs to one nation, okay? That's right, Turkey.
Because, you know, you're a warrior, right? Because all fighters, and you're a real fighter, by the way.
It's not good. It's not good. I
Yeah.
don't shy away from conflict. My fiance has a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's not good. You're much more diplomatic than I probably would be.
You know, it's very interesting, though. So Khabib came up to me after the fight the other night. And, you know, you guys would probably say he's the best ever, maybe. And, you know, probably
He's in the
certainly he
conversation.
probably is, and or very close, right? John Jones, a lot of people
Right there.
say.
I'd say 1 and 2.
And, you know, and he said to me, oh, I hope you can get in because we have to stop the wars. We have to stop the killing, the killing. He was so smart. He understood it. And I think he's friends or was friends, but I think he is friends with Putin very much.
Yeah.
But he said, we have to stop the killing, and it's true. And I think I'd have that war stopped. If I was president-elect, right after the election, if I win, I will get that war stopped. I'll get it stopped.
Khabib wants the war in Ukraine to stop. Yeah, he wants it to be Russia. He wants Ukraine to be the second Dagestani territory so that they can finally stop being pussy and start doing real war like real men. No more gay shit.
Fast before I get to office. If it's not stopped before then,
Talking about Russia, Ukraine.
I'm talking about Russia, Ukraine.
On
We'll
the-
get it.
on
We'll
the-
get it stopped.
on the
so
flip
many
side-
people are being killed.
Mike, ask him a question. Be like, how? What are you going to do?
Far more people are being killed, and I thought it was great when Khabib came up to me. He says, "We've got to stop all of the killing in the war." He's a very smart guy.
By the way, Khabib was talking about Israel, big dog. He wasn't talking about Ukraine. I don't think Dagestani dudes who are in most circumstances pushing Z unconditionally are fucking being like, hey, can you please stop Russia invading Ukraine, okay? He was talking about Palestine. He was talking about Gaza. In the conversation between him and Donald Trump, he specifically mentioned Gaza, okay? The notion that he mentioned anything but Gaza is silly. He might have said it on Twitter or some shit, but when he talked to Donald Trump, I don't think he could even fucking say Ukraine, to be honest. He's like, doesn't his family still live in Dagestan?
Very interesting guy. We talked for a while.
On the flip side, or on the other side of the continent,
Thunderfuck, do you always, Turkey's dumb. Do you always suck Palestine off? Thank you for recognizing Palestinian statehood and sovereignty. Let's
the
continue.
Gaza
Yeah.
situation has been
Horrible.
big news.
How can you still like Mike after this? Isn't he pushing all right propaganda here? I can. You want to know how? Because I'm not some fucking brain broken person who literally thinks like that Mike Majlak is like secretly trying to fucking get Trump elected or some shit by having this interview with him. You know? But that's probably the reason. You say stuff like this, and then your parents are unironically saying like fucking alt-right shit, by the way. Get the fuck out of here. They'll be like, wow, I can't believe you like a dude that you know personally, that you think is a very nice person, very kind person, and a well-intentioned person for platforming the former president of the United States of America. Meanwhile, your dad is saying fucking unimaginable shit that you would be incredibly embarrassed to fucking repeat in broad daylight. I don't see you fucking restricting your access to your own fucking family members. You know what I mean? Also, Chad is really funny because I would love the opportunity to do this and platform Donald Trump. Okay, I would love for that. I would die for that opportunity. It'd be
Over the
sick.
past year or so.
I would love to platform the motherfucking president. All of the presidents.
The United States has always been, and you were always a staunch ally of
Right.
Israel. Has your sentiment on Netanyahu or on his regime changed at all in light of any of the events of the past 6 months?
No, look, it was a shame that it should have never happened. It would have never happened. Iran was broke when I was president. Nobody was allowed to buy oil. Nobody.
He literally fucking ripped apart the denuclearization agreement. This is ridiculous. The notion that he did not make this conflict or make Iran more reactionary towards America is silly. Okay. Also, there's a good question from Mike. You see?
Was allowed to buy anything. They were broke. A Democrat congressman on Deface the Nation, the show Deface the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Deface the Nation, yes, commonly known as Face the Nation, but I don't call it that.
You have a name for
I think I have a name for everything. I'll end up with a name for you two guys by the time. But it'll be.
I can't wait to hear
No,
mine.
there'll be good names. There'll be good names. But so he was on the show and he said, whether you like Trump or not, Iran was broke during Trump's. They would have made a deal within 1 week, and now they have $250 billion. We would have had a deal done literally in 1 week after the election, and it was ready. They were absolutely, and they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They were broke, stone cold broke. Now they have $250 billion. Biden took off all of the sanctions. He let them go. China went to town. I told China, if you buy 1 barrel of oil from these people, you're not doing any business with the United States. They took a pass, no oil, and other countries likewise. And we would have had a deal. It would have been a great deal for everybody. We would have had a deal. Now they have $250 billion. They made it all in 3 years, 3.5 years. They made it all during this Biden term. I mean, he gave him $6 billion for 5 hostages, right? You saw that recently, a couple of months ago.
I would never forgive any of my family for this shit. I'm not brain broken. Trump is a Nazi and Mike is platforming him. How is that okay? How can you be friends with a Nazi platformer just because he's nice and well-intentioned? Because I'm a Nazi platformer. That's why. You've been giving money to a Nazi platformer. I platform Donald Trump. I platform the former president on a regular fucking basis, dude. He's the fucking president. If anything, there is no world where you're platforming the former president of the United States of America. He's platforming you, okay? You need to understand this. You need to understand this to the best of your ability, okay? There is no world where you are platforming the former president of the United States of America. I don't know how to describe this to people. There is no world where you can platform the former president of the United States of America. He platforms you. When you are standing next to him, he is platforming you, not vice versa. Doesn't operate in the exact opposite way, okay?
$6 billion for 5 hostages. He made the swap. The Prince of Terror, they call him. He's the best arms dealer ever, they say. Who knows what that means, but he was a great arms dealer. For the basketball player that wouldn't stand up during the national anthem. She thought that was a good time to tie her sneakers. And that was not exactly the greatest trade, but he gave $6 billion on top of everything. $6 billion with a B. And they don't know what they're doing. And
The real question is, why don't you have the same level of smoke that you have for Logan Paul and Mike Malak that you would for Jake Tapper if they were conducting the same interview? Now, obviously, I started giggling while I was even putting that out there because it's Logan Paul and Mike Malak. So the expectation that they are going to set up a contentious interview is ridiculous. Okay? That's why.
Do that, when you start paying that kind of money, a lot of other people are going to be missing all of a sudden. They're going to be missing and, hey, let's make a trade. And that's already happening. You just can't do that. I got 58 people out. We never paid any money. 58 people, 58 hostages. We never paid money. Because once you pay money, you're going to be doing a lot. In other words, you're going to keep doing it. So you can't do that.
I want to ask about money in this country.
Go ahead.
I've had a very fortunate career.
Yeah.
I've made some money, and
More money than you ever thought possible.
for sure,
Right?
for sure.
Yeah, I know. I know the
Absolutely.
kind of money you make because I know when you have a top event and your shows, but these events are doing fantastically.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
you've done is incredible.
Yeah, I'm very blessed, and part of the reason that I believe I'm blessed is because of this country, and I think in a way I'm kind of living like the modern day American dream. I had access to a phone and could start my business and reach the entire world on this device. So
Excuse me, did you guys start like separately?
me and Jake?
Yes.
Nah, together.
Oh, you started together.
Together on YouTube.
And did you branch out? You each have your
Yeah,
own thing now?
well, eventually, because I went to college. Jake was still in high school. He ended up dropping out. I finished my first year.
It's an amazing 2 stories, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Who makes more money?
It depends on the year. It depends if Jake has
I wanna
fights.
ask you-
That's crazy, bro. What do you mean? This motherfucker makes so much more money with the Prime? No. This is literally propaganda directed towards a young audience. I don't get how you can be okay with it because I love Donald Trump. That's why I'm okay with it. I want Logan Paul's 12 to 16-year-old demographic to go and illegally vote for Donald Trump. This is why I always laugh when people ask me the question, like, what should politicians do more about outreach in terms of social media? And I'm just like, dude, it doesn't really, like, that's not moving the needle. I promise you. Okay? He's got Cambridge Analytica. He's all right.
and it depends on when this sells right here.
Yeah. I think.
Is that your new drink? Oh, that's good. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
if you make it, I like it.
Oh, thank you,
wanna
Mr.
get-
President.
No, it's got to be good. It's got to be. Look,
I knew it. Like, I was like very excited about this because it's like content. And I knew that there was going to be no fun having asses in here being like, dude, I can't believe this. Like, I can't believe that you would let this go on. Please turn this off. I can't see this. My eyes. I need to be thinking about the potential implications of this. Like, just fucking let it happen. Okay. Just, and if you don't want to, you can leave. I promise you, it doesn't really matter at this point. It's just weird you're friends with these people. Yes, dude, it's weird for you because the concept of having friends in general, by the way, these people, Logan Paul and Donald Trump are not friends of mine. Mike is, but that's so funny that you're like, incorporating everybody there. But also, yeah, no, I know it is weird. Like the concept of having friends outside of this Splinter Discord that was born out of the Splinter Discord that I went to because the other Splinter Discord that I went to off of the original Discord that I was in was not sufficiently communist in the exact same way that I want it to be is obviously like an inescapable reality. It's just, or not inescapable reality. It's an unimaginable reality. You know what I mean? It's so weird. So weird that you would have friends. Like, I don't understand. How can you maintain a relationship with people that you don't 100% align with on every single issue, and they are not like in every step that they take, they're not actually advocating for a global Maoist third worldist revolution. Why are they not rising up in arms and engaging in a protracted people's war? What the fuck is happening? Okay? What is going on right now? How could you do this? And you wonder why people call you a fake socialist? Because I'm a fake socialist. I love capitalism. It's my favorite. Okay? That's why. Well, you do associate yourself with some weird crowd? Yeah, I do. Really weird. I wish Donald Trump was a friend of the broadcast. That'd be so sick. This is what happens when leftists live their entire lives out online. I know. And think that like every step they're taking is like some kind of like weird praxis. And I know every single time I talk about this kind of thing, people get really, really fucking mad because so fucked up you assume people are just antisocial for having conviction in their morals. If I knew every fucking minute detail about your life, I would 100% be able to fucking examine with the same critical lens the direction and the steps that you take and how immoral it is under the same exact fucking hypercritical lens that you place upon me and my friendships and also those other individuals as well. This goes back to, once again, the unimaginably brain dead way in which extremely online leftists approach normal human beings in society. Okay? This is the same exact thing that plays out all the time. People talking about how like this content creator is ableist and then having problematic faves. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not shitting on you. I'm sure you're married with a loving group of friends, okay? If we were to examine the loving group of friends that you have, I'm sure that there are plenty of people there that have certain opinions and certain convictions that would not meet the muster, that would not meet the same standards that you're applying here. Why am I saying this? Because it's perfectly normal and valid for people to have disagreements with you, okay? Because I understand that we are all, at the end of the day, at the mercy of the social conditioning that we are born into, of the systems that we're born into. Doing 2016 style hyper liberal like Vox.com article writing ass fucking takes in this chat in 2024 is not going to get you anywhere. It just makes you look like a lame ass. It makes you look unapproachable, hostile to the average person, to the normal person. You're making it seem as though this person, Mike, who's a good dude overall, is over here fucking, you know, repping the Confederate flag or some shit and is like secretly alt-right.
Look, something's propelling him to fight world champions to a draw, right?
Yeah. We actually made this American
that's
Prime
beautiful.
special
Wow.
for this episode. It's a hydration beverage.
It's doing fine, doing well.
We did 1.2 billion last year.
That's
year,
great.
Year 2.
That's fantastic.
But I'm blessed to have even just be able to say that is insane. But my question is for other young people in this country who are looking to get ahead, because for a lot of them times are tough right now.
It's very tough.
What would you say to them, kids who want to pursue their own version of the American dream and try to achieve their wildest dreams and make it all come true?
I would say very simply, honestly, vote for Trump. Because with Biden, you're never going to do it. This country's going to hell. Vote for Trump. You know, we're doing great with youth. We're doing great with African Americans, with Hispanic Americans, through the roof, both of those groups, with women, with men, and with young people, we're doing very well. But I say vote for Trump. If you don't have the right guy in the lead, the country's not going to, you know, if the country doesn't do well, it's much harder to do even what you do, okay? Even what you do. So that would be a simple message. I really mean it, actually.
The same opportunities he's had in America, I've had as well. My road has been a little bit rockier, as we were talking about in my book, The Fifth Vital.
Good advice from Donald Trump. If you want to pursue the American dream, vote for Trump. Do chatters not realize you'd love to interview Trump too? It's not like you're exactly pro-Trump. It's impossible. They expect, first of all, plenty of chatters would be fucking chirping at me in the way that I conduct myself in an interview with Trump if there was a glorious moment where I could have our dear leader on this broadcast, okay? Plenty of fucking people would be like, you didn't sufficiently destroy him in the marketplace of ideas and immediately cause him to leave in the first fucking 3 minutes by yelling at him and calling him a fascist monster. That's number one. Number two, the expectation that these guys are going to do that is ridiculous. Like, they're not going to do that. I knew that going in. I don't know why other people did not.
I spent 8 years addicted to heroin, living on the East Coast. In what I considered, you know, I think a lot of people considered.
So you were addicted.
Correct.
Wow.
I think a lot of people consider it to be the great opiate
Let me
epidemic.
see the book. Can I see the book?
Absolutely.
We're gonna make this sucker a best-selling book.
There's a message. There's a
It's
message
such
for you.
No,
in it
it's
as well.
such an important.
It's actually
Where's
already
my camera?
it's already a
There. Go
best-selling
out and
book.
buy this book. It's great.
That was for you, I believe.
I wrote a message to you in
Good.
there. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
It's-
keep it.
Thank you
but
so much.
it's such an important topic. Yeah, seriously, that's so important.
There's a lot of people that are still kind of wrapped up in that world. And I just want to
Yeah.
ask you some questions. In 2023, the DEA seized more than 80 million fentanyl-laced fake pills, 12,000 pounds of fentanyl powder. There's so many people out there on the streets right now without access to resources with mental health care, rehabilitation centers.
Yeah.
What's your plan to continue to stem the flow of fentanyl into the country, as well as help the people who have already fallen victim to the opiate epidemic?
So when I took over,
He's going to be like, we're going to kill drug dealers. All the other stuff you said about no access to social safety nets, I will avoid that. Jail. If you've even... Mike, if I was president while you were an addict, I would have killed you. I'm going to kill drug addicts and the dealers.
you know, was drug infested. When I ran in 2016, I ran on the border. And I fixed the border, and I couldn't even use it in 2020 in the campaign, even though I got millions of more votes than I got the first time. I couldn't talk about.
The major reason why I will always have respect for Mike, beyond the fact that he's like a very empathetic person and a very charitable person, and he is literally like, if more normies were as outwardly empathetic as he is, then you would have infinitely more allies. But beyond that, yes, because he did drugs, exactly. Okay, that's why. Like, dude, you will never, ever, ever get me to fucking hate someone who was like in the throes of crippling heroin addiction, who's been able to overcome that. Okay, and that's a lifelong struggle. It's crazy. Like, chatters with no goddamn chatters with no goddamn lived experience that are like, 14, 15, 16 years old in the chat, or come from like very comfortable backgrounds who never had this kind of fucking issue in their lives, literally just chirping non-fucking stop without knowing a single aspect of the human being that you're talking about. It's just very, very frustrating. Okay. It's just very, very frustrating. It sucks. And I think that obviously stems once again from the like purity spiral that people want to the little pure circles that they want to create for themselves, not understanding that like that's not how human beings are. That's not how human beings operate. Human beings are imperfect, and they're not going to agree with every single thing that you fucking say. But ultimately, like I said, I'm always going to have a shit ton of respect for him for that.
About the border because I fixed it. And I'd say to my people, I want to talk about the border. I was proud of the job we did. We had it fixed. It was really in good shape. And drugs were at the lowest point in years. And, not only people, drugs, human trafficking, which is such a horrible thing. It's You think of it as like an ancient kind of a crime, and it's bigger now than ever before because of the internet. The internet has made a lot of these things much bigger than they have ever been. When you think of human trafficking, mostly in women, by the way, people don't know that, mostly in women, where they put them in trunks of cars, they have compartments. It's so horrible. And I had it down to to the lowest level, just about, I guess, in recorded times. So what you have to do is you have to be very tough on that. We had a deal on the fentanyl is pouring through. I bought millions of dollars worth of equipment. Believe it or not, they call it sniffing equipment. But
You say that about addiction, but promote porn law. I believe the left would be taken more seriously than more if they were capable of engaging in a conversation for 10 minutes without throwing a tantrum of it or fit. Bro, I love that you just said that and then immediately started talking about how I promote porn. I'm sorry that you fucking can't stop fapping when you see my ginormous fucking biceps, okay? That's a you problem, bitch. Promote porn. I love that he just had the audacity to fucking go from heroin addiction to porn. Okay?
believe it or not, the best thing to find it, you can spend millions of dollars on equipment and machinery to find drugs coming through, like, sort of finds it. The best thing is a German Shepherd born in a suit.
dog,
Do you know
for
that?
sure. No way.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
They go right to it. It's not even, there is no machine. You spend $2.5 million for machinery, and the dog is
Porn is not recognized by any recognized mental health organization in good standing as an addiction, but gambling is.
much better.
More dogs.
And
more dogs.
we literally bred those dogs. It's a very specific type of German Shepherd from a certain part of the world. It's the most incredible thing. We worked very, very hard on that.
It's so funny because there's like hella addicts in here that are on their lifelong journey in overcoming addiction, right? And then there's a motherfucker that chirps in here. There's like people being like, yeah, I'm 5 years sober. Thank you for speaking to the experiences of addicts. And then some guy comes in from the top rope and is like, hey, you know how you like in your lowest moments were deeply and cripplingly addicted to heroin? It's kind of like me because I couldn't stop jerking off to porn. Okay? It's just like, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know how we are on a planet where we've just like made these things the same. Charles be like, yeah, dude, I was literally out there fucking going to the methadone clinic so I could like finally get a job again, completely alienated from my friends and family in my lowest moments, almost died multiple times. And then there's a guy who's like, my shit is raw, dude. Okay. You don't understand. Okay. My shit is fucking raw from jorking my peanuts. Okay. You don't understand. I was jorking. Do you know the amount of time out of the day that I was jorking it?
I was with President Xi. It comes from China and it comes in through the southern. So Mexico's it comes through the southern border. And I was with President Xi, and I told you we got along great. You know, the COVID was a step too far as I was concerned, but we got along great. And I said, "Do you have a drug problem?" He said, "No, they give the death penalty in China. If you sell drugs," I said, "I'd like you to give the death penalty to people that are making fentanyl and sending it over to our country." And he was going to do that. And then we had the election result. And of course, Biden never picked up.
Oh, yeah. No, she was like, "You're right, sir. We're no longer sending fentanyl over the border." You're so right. We're definitely sending fentanyl over the border deliberately. And now that you've said stop, I'm going to stop it. Okay. And then, of course, Brandon became president and she was like, "Ooh, more fentanyl."
That conversation. I told them about it. But he was going to give the death penalty. If he did that, you would have had this literally stopped, almost stopped. But we have to be very, very strong at the border. This is a plague like, and you know, the numbers, they'd say 70,000, 80,000. I think it's probably 250 or 300,000. This is like a war.
Porn addiction is real. Big porn is preventing him from being recognized in his addiction. No big problem. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not like rabid psychopathic Christian groups and Mormon groups that are trying to get it classified as a serious addiction and limit severely like any kind of sex work from happening. It's certainly not those guys. I am not a paranoid schizo. I've yet to find one fucking study that wasn't conducted by some Mormon group that like hides that they're Mormon by claiming it's like secular friends and family group, and then you look it up and it literally is just like paid for by the Mormon church. Definitely not Mormon. Friends and family of porn addicts.
It's rarely a war. I mean, how many wars were you losing? 300,000 people a year. And everybody knows a family. I know many families where their children die and they're not even addicted. They take a pill that's unrelated, and it's got a little bit of fentanyl. They say you can take the head of a needle, and you just put a piece on it, and that's enough to kill like 10 people. It is a really horrible thing. And I would have had China giving the maximum penalty. They would not have been sending it. And I had a deal worked out with President Xi, but of course, Biden didn't follow up, just like he didn't follow up on the Abraham Accords, which would have been.
Wait, what?
great.
He did follow up on the Abraham Accords. Fuck you mean he didn't follow up on it? That's why October 7 happened. What the fuck are you talking about? How did Biden not follow up on the Abraham Accords?
Thing to do. So we have to be very tough on the border, and that includes drugs as well as people, as well as people not coming in from jails and prisons and mental institutions, which is happening now at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's crazy. How can it be good? It's so bad. And I guess
Oh my God, Neek Skit is a Mormon? This explains so much. Mormons are good and usually just support science. It's only the extremists among us that are a bit too much. Dude, I'm learning. I just learned new thing unlocked about Neek Skit. Everything is falling into place now. It's making so much more sense.
either stupid, which they're not,
New Lord.
they hate our country, or they want to get these people for votes. A lot of people think that's the thing. They want to get them for votes. But the destruction, the damage that Biden's done to our country by having 16, 17 million people already in, it's much more than they say. It's probably 17. It could be even higher than that in our country. And these are not people that are going to make America great again. These are people that have a lot of issues. And we're going to have a lot of issues as long as they're here. And we're going to get them out. We have to get them out.
Mr. President, I got the 10-minute warning from the team, which is now 8-minute.
Let's let him go a little longer. It's fine. I like it. Is that okay?
I like him.
Yeah, let him go a little bit longer,
Yeah.
okay? So, look at these two guys.
Just
and then it'll
don't.
turn out to be a lousy show, and I'll say, you were right, Jason. It'll be good. So go for another 20 minutes. Is that all right? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Jason.
It seems to be a nice flow.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
let's go.
Well, you did reality TV.
I'll be in trouble with my people. Like Biden says, I don't have that problem. But, well, first of all, he would never, he couldn't do this interview. If you asked him questions like this?
No, we were talking about that. We were like,
Oh, he
we
wouldn't.
would
Well, we'd like to extend the invite to Joe Biden if he'd like to come on this podcast.
Yeah, I think you should.
eventually.
You know what chance you have of getting him on? I'd say less than 1%. Okay? If you did that, it'd be I'd actually watch that one. Okay, see how long it lasted.
So
Go ahead.
there are two questions I have to ask
Go
you.
ahead.
The first one's kind of fun.
I knew the question about drug addiction was going to lead to border and mental institutions somehow. Like, I knew that. He addressed none of the serious questions that Mike asked as far as like, how do you deal with drug addiction in this country? He went, we're going to kill drug dealers, closing the border.
I want to talk to you about aliens.
Yeah.
So this shit, for the record, is my least favorite Trump shit, okay? Because I hate that he gets conspiracy dudes in the pocket by leaning on this. I know exactly what he's going to say. He's going to, we're going to look into it. We're going to reveal some of the stuff. It's like, bro, you were the president. He did this with fucking JFK files. He did this with 9/11. And then he did none of it. He didn't release any of this shit. He was president for 4 fucking years, dude. I hate that. I hate that he always does this. He always does this shit where he's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking leak everything. He tried to, but they got him for classified documents. Oh my God, that's such a good conspiracy theory. Yeah, actually, all the classified documents that he brought back to Mar-a-Lago were actually like the UAP files. I don't know why he didn't say that. Oh my God. I feel like if he had said that, he would have neutralized the whole fucking classified document saga entirely. To be like, the JFK files were there. That would be so, oh man, that shit. Wow, that's brilliant. He should have come up with that.
Yeah.
UFOs, UAPs.
I know.
The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently. It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because there's something happening. There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots that look just like you, actually. Okay, they have more of a crew cut. Okay, they look like him and they look like you. Some of them look like you,
a little fatter.
but these are perfect people. Okay, and they're not
crazy.
Conspiratorial. They're not crazy. Yeah. And they tell me stories that they've seen things that you wouldn't believe. These are not people that you would say, gee, oh, that's
No
okay.
way. President of the United States.
But
I said,
who is it? That's Joe Biden wanting to do an interview. So I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round and.
This is such a classic Trump, too. Beautiful pilots, straight out of Central Casting. They're beautiful. Don't we love them, folks? We love our beautiful pilots. They are so beautiful.
Form and go.
Tom Cruise, but taller.
Going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there. And, if you go to Nevada and you look at that little section of where they go to look at the aliens, where they think all the aliens are landing, that, it's I think it's maybe the #1 tourist attraction in the United States.
Roswell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roswell. I think it's the #1. It's the lines of people waiting. you have no idea how many times I'm asked that question.
But don't you have access to that information?
I have access.
Wow. Now this motherfucker has follow-up questions. See, when he's in the pocket, when it's something that when he has something that he's like genuinely interested in, he's like, well, what do you mean? Wait, what? Oh, you were the president though. Like, didn't you have access to the files? Which is correct.
But I speak to people about it. I've had actually meetings on it, and they will tell you there's something going on. When they say things are going 4 times faster than my beautiful top of the line airplane that goes, real fast.
With no identifiable propulsion
Mach
system.
2, right?
These things are creating their own gravity fields, allegedly.
Folks, Biden put Roswell back in New Mexico. Under my leadership, it was in Nevada. That's the tourism hub of the world. Everyone's coming. All tourism hub of the universe. Get it? Because aliens are there. They're coming from all around, not just the planet, but all around the universe. Illegal aliens.
Allegedly.
Well, they have people that are very smart and very solid have said they believe there is something.
It's so obvious that Trump absolutely doesn't think aliens are real or doesn't care. No, he doesn't think they're real. He'll entertain the prospect to be like, yeah, I'm going to reveal the files or whatever. But like, no, of course, dude. Come on. He admitted he doesn't believe that they're real. That should just destroy the fucking conversation.
Something out there. And, it makes sense that there could be. I've never been convinced, even despite that. I just, for some reason, it's not my thing. But a lot of people believe that it's true. A lot of very good, solid people believe it's true.
What? And
I know there are illegal aliens out there, but those are the ones that come through the border. We have plenty of them. Those are the ones I know. When you say aliens, I say, are they illegal aliens? These might be illegal, but we don't want to test them.
Yeah.
Because if they can go 4 times faster, we're not going to test them. So it's
What
an
is he
interesting question.
saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Is there a chance that one of these orgs is potentially hiding information from you about aliens?
I guess so. It's you have the deep state, and you do have a deep state, and certainly they could. But I don't think on this subject. I was interested in it because I've been asked so many times, and I talked to people that have said that they've, it was a sighting, and it's very believable. It's very possible that there is something, and why wouldn't there be? You take a look at the universe and you see all of the different planets, and you see this, look, here we are on one relatively small planet. Why wouldn't there be on a planet that's, 400 times the size? Why wouldn't there be somebody? It's certainly believable to me.
The thought of it freaks me out. It's weird to think that we potentially are only the source of life in like an infinite, ever expanding universe. But technology.
But they'd never be able to take you in a fight.
No chance.
I'll bet on you.
No chance. Send me in.
I'll bet on you.
Send me in. Send me in, my brother. We'll handle it.
And that's a good team.
And if we don't come back, I'm sure people will be happy about that too.
The two of you will come back and say hello. Say hello to him, by the way.
I will.
He's a great guy.
Maybe Elon could get you guys there. You a fan of Elon Musk?
I think Elon might be good for this question. He's a terrific. I looked at the ship that went up, the spaceship, and I never saw this before. I saw this is like 2 years ago. I see the motors coming down, the engines coming down, no wings, no anything, and then I say, what is going on?
Yeah.
And nobody ever saw that before. And if you didn't have him, you probably wouldn't be seeing it, And I called him, I said, what's that? He says, well, we want to be able to reuse the engines. I said, they don't have wings, they don't have anything, and they're landing on a platform in the middle of the ocean. I said, how cool is that? I thought I saw it all, but no, he's a very...
No, he doesn't hate Elon Musk. He wants his money. And also Elon is obviously very right-wing now, so...
he's a spectacular guy.
Well, I mean, between PayPal, Neuralink, Starlink, Tesla,
Yeah.
SpaceX,
Oh God, Logan Paul, Elon Glazer, of course.
and other things.
Yeah, no, he's probably
A-
one of the greatest minds of our
AI,
generation.
AI, very big. You know,
Well,
he's
that's
a big,
what I wanted to ask about. It was the second question because technology is improving at a rapid pace.
That's right.
At a pace humanity's never seen before. And the most recent development in technology that is alarming but also cool is artificial intelligence, AI.
Technology is developing at a rapid pace, previously unseen, and then turning around and being like, AI is developing at a rapid pace.
yeah.
I think it's going to be eventually to a point where we're not able to tell what's real and what's fake. The era of truth.
Dude, I feel like Elon glazing immediately is just so like, it's more off-putting than anything else Logan Paul could have said for me. Like, straight up. I don't know what it is. Immediately I'm like, that's the dumb guy flag for me. It automatically I flag you. Like, immediately I suspect that, like, perhaps, I may have been too charitable. You're so fake for this? Okay, bro. I'm fake because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, and you thought that, like, you could fucking bait me by saying you're so fake for this. What is this? We need to extend the sports segment by at least enough 45 minutes to passively purge the moral hardline mindset of politics frogs. In addition, you must expand outside of North American sports, the World Cup on the rise. Think about it. You could debate Neymar in Miami as the first political soccer influencer. I agree. I fucking despise, like, Elon glazing is a bridge too far. Thanks for so much for platforming this podcast on. I normally would have watched this, but after viewing, I've decided to cast my ballot for Donald Trump this fall. Hell yeah, brother. That's the reason why I'm doing it.
What do you think the government's role in enabling, protecting, or governing AI should be in general? Should this superpower become what we believe it probably will be?
Well, it is a superpower.
I gotta pee.
You want to be right at the beginning of it, but it is very disconcerting. I said, you used the word alarming. It is alarming when I saw a picture of me promoting a product, and I could not tell. The voice was perfect. The lips moved perfectly with every word. The way you couldn't, if you were a lip reader, you'd say it's absolutely perfect. And that's scary. In particular, in one way, if you're the president of the United States and you announce that 13 missiles have been sent to, let's not use the name of a country, we have just sent 13 nuclear missiles heading to somewhere, and they will hit their targets in 12 minutes and 59 seconds. And you're that country. And there's no way of detecting. I asked Elon, is there any way that, like Russia or China, can say that that's not really President Trump? He said there's no way.
They'd have to rely on secondary first alert systems.
They have to rely on a code that if you don't have a certain code, who the hell's going to check? You got like 12 minutes. And let's check the code. Gee, how's everything doing? So what do they do when they see this, right? They have maybe a counterattack. It's so dangerous in that way. Okay. In another way, it's so incredible that what they do is so incredible. I've seen it. I just got back from San Francisco. I met with incredible people in San Francisco, and we talked about this. This subject is hot on their plates, the super geniuses. Yep. And they gave me $12 million for the campaign, which, 4 years ago, they probably wouldn't have. We had thousands of people in the streets. You saw it. It just happened this last weekend. Yep. I met with incredible people, actually. And this is this is what everyone's talking about with all of the technology. These are the real technology people. They're talking about AI. And they showed me things, but I've seen things that are so, you wouldn't even think it's possible. But in terms of copycat, now, to a lesser extent, they can make a commercial. I saw this. Yeah. They made a commercial, me promoting a product, and it wasn't me. And I said, did I make that commercial? Did I forget that I made that commercial? It is so unbelievable. So it brings with it difficulty, but we have to be at the forefront. It's going to happen. And if it's going to happen, we have to take the lead over China. China is the primary threat in terms of that. And what they need more than anything else is electricity.
Yeah, because China won't fucking let that shit China won't let that shit impact their own citizens in a bad way, but Americans absolutely would. The American government would absolutely allow AI scammers to just cook its own citizens.
They have to have electricity, massive amounts of electricity. I don't know if you know that, in order to do these, essentially it's a plant. And the electricity needs are greater than anything we've ever needed before to do AI at the highest level. And China will produce it because they'll do whatever you have to do, whereas we have environmental impact people, and we have a lot of people trying to hold us back. But massive amounts of electricity are needed in order to do AI. And we're going to have to generate a whole different level of energy. And we can do it, and I think we should do it, but we have to be very careful with it, right? We have to watch it. But it's, the words you use were exactly right. It's the words a lot of smart people are using. There are those people that say it takes over the human race. It's really powerful stuff.
I'm Chinese, and I'm so fucking glad our politicians are boring as fuck and aren't doing podcasts with fucking bitty influencers. Holy shit. That'd be kind of sick, though. Imagine if Xi were to do a podcast with this guy. I mean, think about the possibilities.
AI. So let's see how it all works out. But I think as long as it's there, it's
plays out.
And that's just AI. What about when it becomes SI or super intelligence?
no. Then they'll have super AI, right? It's super duper AI. But what it does is so crazy.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Now, it can also be really used for good. I mean, things can happen. I had a speech rewritten by AI out there, one of the top people. He said, "Oh, you're going to make a speech?" Yeah. He goes, click, click, click. And like 15 seconds later, he shows me my speech.
That's crazy.
Written.
That's crazy.
So beautifully.
No, it's not. It's not. That's not crazy at all. It probably sucked. And also, not only did it probably suck, but Trump's speeches are pretty fucking boring in general. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Oh.
I said, I'm going to use this sucker. I'm going to use, I've never seen anything like it.
What'd you say to your speechwriter after that?
You're
You're fired.
I said,
Yeah, there's no ChatGPT that hits bars like "never fight uphill, me boys." This chatter that said it is right. Never fight uphill, me boys. There's no ChatGPT that fucking hits a script where he's talking about like sharks. They're dangerous, folks. What if you have an electric boat powered by a battery, most powerful battery, and the electric boat is capsized? What would you do? I asked that question to the engineer. He said, "Sir, no one's ever asked this question before. It's brilliant." I told him I wouldn't jump in the water. I'd rather get electrocuted than die by the shark.
"You're fired, Vince. Get the hell out of here." No. This was so crazy. It took it and it made it unbelievable. And it's and so fast. You just say, "I'm writing a speech about these two young, beautiful men that are great fighters and sort of great at a lot of things. And tell me about them and say some nice things," and period. And then that comes out. Logan in particular is a great champion. Jake is also good. See, I'm doing that only because you happen to.
I appreciate
No,
that.
but no, it comes out with the most beautiful.
Bro, he's glazing. Bro, what is the president doing? That's the motherfucking ex-president, bro. He's glazing Logan Paul. What planet are we living on? Oh my God, dude. He loves the Paul bros. He actually fucking loves the Paul brothers. Like, this is... what is happening? It's every day, folks. With the Disney Channel flow. ChatGPT could never write that. Bars. Yeah, I joked about Eric Trump killing himself after seeing that snippet of Trump laughing for the first time ever in his life. But honestly, after this interview, both Don Jr. and Eric killed themselves. Like they did a dual suicide, bro. Don and Eric, double suicide. Rest in piss. He literally wishes Jake and Logan Paul were his children.
Beautiful writing. So one industry I think that will be gone are these wonderful speechwriters. I've never seen anything like it, and so quickly. A matter of literally minutes, it's done. So it's a little bit scary.
Well, as you said, let's see how this plays out. I did get the wrap it up because I do believe your team and I want to shoot a TikTok with you.
Oh, that's good. I'm on TikTok.
We
now.
saw your first video, 120 million views. It blew up.
We have a lot of views. I don't know how many, but it was a lot. We did it. We did it with Dana,
You went viral.
and we were sort of getting ready to walk into the arena, and it was
Are you triggered? Wait, what? You're just jealous he's not glazing? Why would I be triggered by
a lot
this?
of crowd, and there wasn't a negative voice in the whole house. It was pretty amazing.
Let's
to
do
see.
it again.
I want to respect your time. I'd like to just grab a couple photos, shoot this TikTok.
Absolutely.
120 million views on the way.
Absolutely.
But thank you for joining us on Impulsive, Mr. President.
It's an honor to be with you. You guys are great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
much.
we try.
And good luck with your book over here. That's important stuff. That's
you so
An
much.
incredible job you did to get out of it, right?
If you're ever bored on a plane to Tuscaloosa or something, you want to give it a
Yeah, bro, he doesn't know how to read, okay? Come on, Michael. It's not happening. Let's be real, big dog.
I'm going to be reading it. I think it's such an important one of the most important subjects, actually. It's great that you did it.
Thank you
Ladies
so
and
much.
gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode of Impulsive. With Donald Trump, Mr. President. We love you. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.
Man, it was wonderful that this happened. Hello, I can only speak Japanese, but I came to watch the broadcast with Google Translate to enjoy the atmosphere, and it is morning in Japan. Hope you have a good day. Each other. Pog.